Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Frights of the Roundtable 2.0. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I've got an awesome guest here right now, Steve Rudzinski. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing fantastic today. It is good to be here. Happy to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
You know what? I just watched Amityville Christmas Vacation, and one of my favorite parts is that your character is so cheery and so nice that even the ghost says that to you, and I thought that was pretty, because you seem like a very, just chill, nice, sweet person, you know.
Well, I appreciate that. I definitely come off much more cynical online, especially when talking about the film industry specifically, because I've been doing it long enough that I don't lie about things anymore.
Wait, did
But
you lie about stuff before?
yeah, early in my career, I used
Okay.
to say stuff like, "I think things are going to turn out okay for everyone." Um, yeah, so for that character, especially Wally, when Bill Murphy and I first wrote that character of Wally, because I don't know if you've seen the Meowie movies,
I have not.
Wally is the human lead in all of those.
So I haven't. I know Paul did some reviews of them for Indie Film Cafe. For Meowry.
Mhm.
I think Christmas or something, Meowry Christmas or whatever.
Yeah,
I like is Meowry an actual cat in the movie?
yeah. Miss
Or
Whiskers is the talking cat who's the star of those four films, and Wally is her owner.
okay,
And this story is just Wally's adventure, and that's why you don't hear the cat talk, because now it's from Wally's perspective.
okay. So it's not
Um,
that the cat's perspective, yeah.
Correct. But when we were first writing Wally for the very first Meowie Christmas back in 2017, Bill Murphy and I both said to each other at the same time, like, this character is our Ernest P. Worrell. Like, when we're writing these scripts, we're going to have moments where we will outright say, would Ernest do this? So, like, there's a scene where, like, Wally could have been, like, mean to a character. They're like, wait. Would Ernest do that? No, he wouldn't. Wally's not going to do that either. So Wally has a little bit of like a sting, and like we got a little bit of satire, a little political satire with Wally, but he's meant to be like just this genuinely good, wholesome person that means well and does want to help people. So when the Meowie movies wrapped up, because those are finished, I'm not doing those anymore. I'll never say
Why?
never. I'll never say never, but I'm not planning on it. Um, I still wanted to explore. I'll answer your question in a second. I'm not ignoring you. I just wanted to finish. Um, when I started exploring the idea of this Amityville parody and Hallmark Christmas movie parody, uh, at first when I was pitching it with Bill, I was like, "Oh yeah, it'll be about this character, this character, and this character." Wait, what if it's just about Wally? What if just Wally goes to Amityville? And boom. So this was kind of an experiment to see if Wally could kind of run a whole film on his own. And I think the experiment worked. So I think we'll see Wally in more adventures in the future. I just don't know when. For why I decided to stop doing the cat movies, because it's too easy to fall into that pit. It is too easy to fall into that pit and make 20 cat movies, and now that's my career forever. They were so cheap and so easy and so financially successful that I just didn't want to do it anymore. I made Meowie Christmas, and it was a success. So I was able to scratch my itch making a PG horror movie with Meowie Halloween, and that's the best financial decision I've made in my life. Holy God! It's ridiculous. And that made enough money that I was just like, okay, let's end the story. So I made 3 and 4 back to back. I got the craziest and the weirdest with those two because I knew the fans were already signed on. And I said, okay, that's the ending. You get a saga of talking animal movies with an actual conclusive ending. And I did a miniseries for Steve Buster, but that was just something for the fans as like an anniversary thing.
That's
That wasn't
nice.
that wasn't really a Meowie movie.
Okay, well, so we will hopefully have another guest be joining us somewhat soon. And I have to ask, like, you are kind of sort of, into Christmas pretty much. You're into the
A little
spirit of
bit.
Christmas. I
Are your
mean,
fans at home able to see the screens, or are they just listening?
I think you'll just be listening, though. I am wearing a Christmas shirt,
Oh, fantastic.
yeah, Christmas
Fantastic.
story shirt.
So, for those of you just listening, my Christmas village is lit up completely. I got all the lights around. Santa Claus is standing over my right shoulder.
Hmm.
7 of my
As he
8
should be.
trees are up.
You know, I don't know. I'm weird. I used to when I was a kid, of course. I love Christmas or whatever. Always got excited, when Christmas Day was coming or whatever. And then I don't know if I don't know if it's like losing the Christmas spirit, but I also lost the Halloween spirit. Like I think I don't know. Maybe I'm becoming Scrooge slash whoever gets grumpy on Halloween, kind of thing. I don't know. It just doesn't have the same effect it does when I was a kid.
Well, for me, it's way stronger now than when I was a kid. I didn't have a great childhood or great home or great family life. So, this time of year was pretty rough for me from age 0 to probably 2021. And that's where I really decided, like, I want to start, spending time with friends and, like, making other people happy and giving to my friends and the people I care about. And from that point on, I became, you can ask anyone that knows me in real life, I'm the Lord of Christmas.
Hmm.
I can't tell you how many of my friends have come up to me and said to my face, Steve, you made me love Christmas. And that's the greatest review I've ever gotten in my goddamn life. So it's something you gotta it's a muscle you gotta exercise. You gotta make the miracle happen, otherwise you lose it. And if you lose it, it's hard to get back.
Right. Oh, interesting. I didn't think about that. You have to work out. So,
Yeah.
you know,
You
it's,
don't have to be as crazy as me.
I mean, that's good. Like, I like that. Like, I like that there are still people out there who decorate decorate their house, but decorate their outside their house. Because I saw the outside of your house. I think you just sent a picture of your
Yeah.
outside your house looks like. And I mean, that to me, I mean, are those new, or like were those new ornaments and other
Only
things and
uh,
decorations?
the only things that are new for outside is I finally found one of those like fake flame lampposts that's up, and the penguin slide is new. I was eyeing that last year at Home Depot, but I didn't bite the bullet because I bought this 6 foot tall animatronic Santa Claus that talks and sings. So I didn't want to spend that much money all at once. But they were back in stock, so I got them. But like
That's
the deer's already there, the neon tree I've already had, the Santa Claus tree that's on the front porch that came into play I think last year, if not the year before. Um, the backyard also is done up in lights. Front yard is cool white, backyard is warm white, so that way you can kind of go through the coolness of winter to some warmness outside. I like that. And then we did get a new 6 foot tall but skinny flocked tree that's upstairs in the upstairs hallway landing, and that's a treat tree. So it's like covered in candy ornaments and peppermint and cocoa ornaments and stuff like
please,
that.
please tell me that your cats probably try to play with that tree.
She doesn't care at all.
No?
No, I have when the day after Thanksgiving, I will buy my real tree, and I have 8 trees. 2 of them are outside, the rest are indoors. My cat has never messed with a tree, never messed with an ornament. She likes to sleep under them, and it is the cutest. She's the
Aw.
cutest Christmas cat. But no, I've never had a problem with her. I was worried the first year when I got a real tree. I was like, oh, is she gonna mess with it? And no, she didn't, and she just never did.
What is Whisker's name?
The actress's
Or
name is Gizmo Cat.
Gizmo Cat. Okay,
Yes.
that's cute. And then I saw you have like gerbils?
Rats.
Rats. Okay, you got rats. And one of them's Egon and one of them's Peter or Ray. Ray.
Yes, yes, and yes. I have 4 rats. It's Egon, Ray, Peter, and Winston.
Oh jeez, that's awesome. That is so, yeah, because I figured I know you're a Ghostbusters fan.
Yes.
Like I think anybody who grew up in my generation and my time, because we're about the same age, I think.
I'm 35.
I'm 40, so I'm a little older, but
yeah.
not much. And I think 35 to 40 is like the Ghostbusters age anyway. Like the kids who kind of grew up playing Ghostbusters and doing all that stuff. Sadly, it's not. I'm hoping it comes back because of the new Ghostbusters movie. hoping that kids start being able to get backpacks or,
Mhm.
proton packs and, things like that, and be able to go out and do that stuff. It's going to be a whole new generation of kids, that love Ghostbusters, hopefully,
I mean, we'll see. We'll see where they go with the franchise at this point.
Yeah. Well, I
Because
mean,
that's the thing. Like, there was only the couple of movies, but they still they had the cartoons, both of
mhm.
them, to also keep that sort of to make it that franchise. If it was just the two movies by itself, I don't know if it would be as big with the kids when we were kids at that point.
Yeah. Well, the
And right
cartoon was
now,
what
it's
really
just
did it.
we had the 2016 movie, which I didn't like, but it has its fans. I'm not going to insult it. People that like it, that's fine. And then we had Afterlife, but again, that's sort of the same deal. It was like you got two movies in the past 7 years, and that's it.
Well,
Like there's a game that's like a multiplayer game. I saw like no marketing for it. I didn't even know it existed until this past week.
there
Um,
there was, if you go to, like, the Ghostbusters YouTube page or whatever, there was some stuff on, like, they had like a showing, like uh it was a screening of the Ghostbusters Afterlife, and then it was Jason Reitman and them coming down and telling them everything they're planning to do with the franchise, from the
sure, but here's the
comic books and everything. Nothing's happened yet,
that's the
obviously,
thing.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I remember when Sony was planning that back in 2016. So, and like the
Yeah.
comic book has been good. So, like I haven't read it in the past couple of years. I unfortunately I moved and I had to cut some comics and stuff. But that ran for years, and I think it's the same continuity, and it's still great.
Mm-hmm.
But they need to jump into more different mainstream stuff, like I said, cartoons or what have you.
Right. Well, and so would you say, like, Ghostbusters and maybe a lot of the things from the 80s and 90s were your influence for growing up and making these movies?
Not really. My
No?
biggest influence as a child was Sam Raimi. For directing wise, was Sam Raimi and Robert Rodriguez. Pretty much just those two are the ones that I looked up to the most in terms of creating, in terms of like making a film, and acting wise, it was Bruce Campbell and Jim Varney, Ernest P. Worrell. Which, if you watch any of my acting and you see my face being a cartoon character, that's why.
Yep.
I'm just internally being like, I wish I was as talented as Jim Varney, and I just
Now that
pull
you
from the
say
ether.
that, and now that you say that, like, anytime I watch you, like, act in something, I'm gonna be thinking of Ernest.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
You know?
like the eyebrow movement, the eye movement. Like I'm not as good as Jim, not even close. But that's where a lot of my ticks and acting decisions do come from.
Wally Saves Christmas.
That was kind
You
of a
know?
Meowy Christmas
Yeah.
and a Meowy Christmas Vacation, the fourth film.
Yeah, I liked it. Like, I like when I watched that, when I watched you were having fun. You were making something in your house and other people's houses, all over the place. You just, it was enjoyable, you know.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, with Amityville Christmas Vacation, we definitely, well, honestly, I wanted to make something small again. It was kind of like because I made CarousHell in 2016, and then I made the four Meowie movies from like 2017 to 2019, and then I made CarousHell 2, which was another bigger movie with like an actual cast and crew and budget, and then I was immediately hired. And only a few months after release of Carousel 2 was already working on pre-production for the Shingles the movie, which was the biggest film I ever made with a way bigger budget and a way bigger cast and a way bigger crew and way more locations.
Mm.
And so I kind of went back to back with larger productions that I wanted to make something super small again, like the Meow is, just because it's a little bit more laid back and a little bit more enjoyable.
Right.
So I did. I wrote a small script, with Bill Murphy, and just took some of my own money. And the only hook was that I needed to find a house to shoot in because my house is Wally Griswold's house. We established that in the Meowie movies. So I could not claim that this house was in Amityville.
Mm-hmm.
But I talked to Scott Lewis, and he was game. My cinematographer for a lot of my films, and he plays the Creighton Spook, the Greek
Oh,
reference
nice.
to Final Friday. of Creighton Duke, and he said, "Yeah, come shoot here." So we shot that whole movie in 2 days.
I think it's so funny because I watched it on Tubi and I watched it with the subtitles and I forgot what they called him, but he did at the first second and he did not call him Creighton Spook. They called him like Creighton Spook something else.
Interesting.
Like yeah, but then later I guess they called him Creighton Spook. So I guess I don't know if they
Well, I outsource the captions and I do
right.
proofread them, but there's so many lines
Yeah,
and like I just miss it too. Like I'm
right.
not a perfect proofreader and I can't afford to hire someone else to also proofread these captions I paid for. So, it's a human being on the other side of that keyboard. Sometimes mistakes happen.
Yeah.
The funniest one that I like the most is that so the Meowie movies have a hedgehog in them, and the captions for a Meowie Halloween calls her a porcupine. And just like, you have never seen a porcupine in your life, sir or madam. This is not even close.
It's not no, not at all. A hedgehog and a porcupine. Completely different
A little
species.
bit. A little bit.
Yeah. One's a little pointier than the other, you know. Um but yeah, that's funny. I noticed that Tubi also and I don't know if you noticed this, but I mean I don't know how long it's been doing this, but they actually change the dialogue if it curses, you know.
Oh, okay.
So if you say the F word, they'll say something else, or whatever and whatnot. But it didn't matter on yours.
They
By the
haven't
way,
done that to any of my R-rated films.
yeah,
That makes me wonder, like, are we sure that's a Tubi thing, or is that distributors doing it to make sure it gets picked up by streaming? Because
maybe.
family stuff gets pushed harder to the algorithms. That's one of the reasons why I made multiple cat movies and why Amityville is like a PG movie. And that's why, like, Wild Eye cut out the sex scene of CarousHell 1, because they were afraid that less streaming services would pick up the movie if it had the sex scene.
We'll wait on that topic in a second. We're gonna bring our other guest,
We
and
have
so we'll
another guest.
Rights of the Roundtable. It's supposed to be at least three people, right? At least. So here we go.
Wait,
Here's our other
wait,
guest calling in
wait.
right now.
Can I swear on this show?
Yeah.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit!
As long
Okay.
as Podbean doesn't change the words or whatever, Hello, Natalie.
Hi, Jonathan. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. How's
Everybody, this is Natalie Peri, star of Amityville Thanksgiving.
Oh God, you saw it before me, huh?
I know you told me you hadn't seen it yet, so
No. How was it? What'd you think?
I was telling Steve, I enjoyed it. It was a Will Colazzo movie, like Will has a certain style and a certain feel,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I definitely got that from this movie. So I
Well,
enjoyed it. It was fun.
I was the female lead, so
Yeah. And she said earlier to me she screams a lot in it, and she was right because there was a lot of screaming in the movie, but it was fun. Like I enjoyed it. By the way, Natalie, you're here with Steve Rudzinski. Steve is the director and star of and co-writer of Amityville Christmas Vacation. So two Amityville
oh,
people.
to Amityville. Nice to
Both
meet
holidays
you.
right here.
Yes,
Right?
holiday Amityvilles.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Natalie. I was telling before the show started, or maybe when the show started, I forget, but I was telling Jonathan that, like, I started shooting Amityville Christmas Vacation, and then, like, the day I started shooting, the trailer for Amityville Thanksgiving dropped, and I was like that Key and Peele gif of him sweating profusely, of just like, I need to finish this movie right now, otherwise it's going to be too late.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And where were you shooting? In what state?
I currently live in Pennsylvania. This was a smaller film, so we shot it in the Pittsburgh area.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm in Long Island, so we usually 90% me and Will usually shoot in Long Island. In fact, I just got cast for his newest one, playing Desire, the witch. It hasn't been announced yet. It's
Should you have announced that on here?
I just announced it. Yeah, well, he told me tonight, so it's going to be announced on social media soon. So
Okay, good.
You got the exclusive, Moody.
I
yeah,
did.
you
I
got
heard
the
it before anyone
exclusive,
else.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. I can't tell you much about the character, but she is a witch, obviously, and her name is Desire. And when I read it, I was like, wow, okay, so she's really, really like bossy and sarcastic, and I love it. So yeah, why not?
I've always wanted to name a strip club named Desire, just so I can say it's a strip club named Desire.
Well,
But no,
it's not that kind of role, Well, Jonathan.
I didn't think it would be with your like
I don't do
your
that.
films, the films that you act in, you don't do any of that kind of risque kind of stuff.
No,
so.
I don't. I'm not like that at all. No. And I've been asked like 1,000 times, and I just will not do it. So
Fair, that's everybody's choice.
yeah,
And as long as you stick to it.
I will always stick to it. Yes. Yeah.
So Natalie, we were talking about we were talking about Christmas Vacation, the Amityville one. Now the Amityville Thanksgiving. How when was it that you got cast for that? Was that like a year ago?
I believe we shot it in October of last year. Yeah, we shot it in a remote location in a cabin, and it was pretty cold here, so that I do remember, because after that we shot Silent Night Bloody Night, and that was only a few months later. So yeah, I believe that was in October of last year.
Dang, so busy.
I'm shooting so much that I can't keep track, which is a good thing. I can't, because it's like, seriously. And yeah, it was Bloody Nun, Amityville Thanksgiving, and then it was Silent Night Bloody Night, and now I'll be shooting for Camp Murder 666. Yeah, 666. Yeah, 366.
Okay, that's the new one that they're doing.
That's awesome. The new one. Yeah, he had, like I said, he hasn't announced me yet. He just called me today. He says, I finally got the script. He says, I have this role. He goes, read it. Let me know what you think. If you want to do it, if not, you pick another role. You pick the role you want. And I was like, you know what? I want to play Desire. So I was like, yeah,
you get to pick what you want. That's awesome. How many directors do that? Jeez.
No, I know that, because Will is pretty cool. I always love working with Will, and and he always compliments me on my acting and this and that, and so, which is pretty cool. It's a nice feeling. Plus I'm doing my own stuff, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been shooting a trailer, Project A, and also doing the music and the singing for that too. So
there you go. Busy.
Yeah, I'm very busy. And then the thing with Bears, you saw that, the post with Bears, that's going to be shot in Turkey. I'm going there in the spring in Turkey, and just a lot of stuff, which is pretty cool.
All right, well, that's good. Always good to stay busy. And Steve, you're always busy doing something.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're still on post-production for Shingles the movie, the one that I got hired to adapt the book series for. This past week has just been email every news website possible as Scott Lewis, plucks away at editing and finishing the film. So that should be out early 2023. But at the same time, it's not my film, it's the financier's film. So I don't know exactly what the release plan is. I don't know if they're going to get it out as soon as I give them the files, or if they're going to try to shop it around. We'll see. I got paid, and it's in my contract that, I can still sell it at conventions. So I have something new to put on my booth.
Okay, that's good. Well, Natalie, have you been to horror conventions yet?
I went to one a couple years ago. It was MonsterCon, and I actually met the cast of American Horror Stories and The Walking Dead.
Nice.
I took photos with them. Yeah. I actually took photos with them. I also met Skeet Ulrich. I took photos with him from Scream.
I met Matthew Lillard once. He was a nice guy.
From Scream.
Yeah.
Yeah. So was he was just hanging out there, and I walked up to him and I'm like, yo, how you doing? I was there to promote a series I was supposed to be in that never happened. I won't go into that. And I was handing out these pamphlets with my photo on it because I was the lead actress. And I says, oh, nice to meet you, Skeet. I says, I said, you mind taking a photo of me? He goes, sure, why not? Got up, then we hugged. We took a photo, and then we started.
That never happens with me. Yeah, they're usually like, give me $80 and I'll take a
Yeah,
photo with you.
You know who wanted money? Nev Campbell.
Of course.
Yeah, there was no line at all for her, and they still wanted like $75 to $100 just to take a photo. And I'm like, nah, I don't think so. I won't do it.
Steve charges about that, so that's about right,
That's
Steve?
that's just to look at you.
No,
If you want eye contact, it's $100.
I got to start charging.
Yeah.
Seriously, dude, I got to start charging. I'm pretty famous. I don't like doing that. People keep asking me for autographs, and I'm like, oh God.
Well, it is easier for me since I'm also a filmmaker that I'm selling my movies, and I can just sign those. I've been doing the cons long enough. I make buddies with like some of the other actors and stuff, so I hang out with them. We get drinks and what have you. But like, I know some of the crap they deal with. And like some of their prices is either set by the agent, it's out of their hands, or it's set by the convention. Yeah. It's set by the convention, and it's just like I know plenty of these guys are just like, yeah, let's take a selfie whenever the handler's not there.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's a whole thing. Like I feel bad and I get it, but at the same time, I'm similar to you. Like I would never spend $100 for someone to scribble a piece of paper.
Oh, okay. So I had an incident happen, and I won't say who or what or whatever, right? Because, just to be on the safe side of things. But I was at a table and we asked this guest at the table if we could interview them. And they were like, yeah, sure. No problem, right? Mm-hmm. And their handler, whoever was with them, was like, you got 5 minutes. That's it. 5 minutes, and after that, you guys gotta. So I was like, all right, whatever. So we start interviewing this person, and they start talking. Everything's going great. We're having a great discussion. There are nobody at their table either, nobody there bothering them or anything. And then the handler's just like, after 5 minutes, and I'm like, oh my God, like, what the heck? And I realized that's not their fault. Like, it's not the guest's fault. That's probably the convention, and stuff.
It probably it is. I mean, but she wasn't really nice, Nev. I mean, like I got to meet Dennis O'Hare. He gave me his email address.
Nice.
So I was like, wow, this is so cool, from American Horror Story. And I was like, he was so nice. Who else I met? I took pictures of the whole cast of Walking Dead, and one guy goes, and like I said, I'm seeing him next to you. Goes, you make me look good, and I'm like, no, I don't. So I was like,
nice.
Thank you, that's so sweet. But that was my last convention that I went to as far as horror. So
you should definitely get a table at some point.
Eventually we will. We were supposed to do for Will, for the whole cast and crew for Amityville Thanksgiving, or Bloody Nun, but I don't know, because of COVID, they just said no.
Right.
Because recently they were both sick. Everybody's getting COVID like crazy again, and it's insane.
Mm-hmm. I just got the new shot to be safe. Last time I had COVID, I almost died. I don't want to roll those dice again.
Shit. I'm sorry about that.
Well, I only got 3 of them, and I got sick on the 3rd one, and I'm not doing the 4th one, so I'm done.
Yeah, I mean,
everyone got sick from one of those vaccines. I swear. Like, my wife tanked the first 2 like nothing, and then the 3rd one killed her. I got killed by the 2nd shot, but 1 and 3 did nothing to me. And neither did 4. No,
the 3rd one. I refuse to get the 4th one.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's fair.
Hey, you're vaccinated.
Shots. Yeah, exactly. Everybody got the shot, but they're still getting it. So what's the point?
It's
I almost died with the shot. I'm afraid to think of what would happen if I didn't have the shot. That's all I'll say.
It's sort of the disease.
You're young.
Yeah, the disease sort of keeps evolving. And stuff and mutating. So, I guess the stuff's just to be on the, safe side and keep you updated. It's kind of like the flu shot, every year you should probably
Yeah,
get?
no, no. That's what happened. A couple years ago, I got the flu shot, and I got the flu. Worse, I was in bed for 2 weeks.
Oh
I
man, that
said, well,
sucks.
that's not. I said, well, it's like they gave me the flu because that's what it really is. They're giving you, they say that they're not giving you the virus, but they're giving you the virus so your own antibodies could fight this. But no, I was sick for 2 weeks. And I said, what the frick is the point of getting a shot if you're going to get sick? So I never got a flu shot after that. And that's it.
Well, that's understandable.
Yeah.
So anyway, so let's move on to something that's less
Not
like
talking about being
controversial
sick. Yes,
Yeah.
about
yes.
the
It's very
topic, you know.
controversial.
Um,
Yeah.
so I want to talk a little bit more about well, I want to talk about both films because like right now it's about to be Thanksgiving. So I think that's
Mhm.
cool, you know, that we're about to have that. And then after that is Christmas. So Steve, I have to ask this because you are, as I pointed out earlier, you've got, you know, Christmas stuff all over your,
Mhm.
you know, your house and everything. Are you also a Thanksgiving fan, or do you not care
Thanksgiving
either?
is practice Christmas.
Oh,
That's
for
all
real?
it is. Yeah.
Oh crap! I just noticed you got this. Wow, you decorate too, like I do. Oh my
Hell
God,
yeah.
you have to see my videos, my home videos, because I do DIY projects.
Okay.
And last year I made all my own wreaths. I made glass window boxes outside with lights and trees on my stoop. Are
Nice.
you on Facebook?
Yes, you can look me up. Steve
Okay.
Rudzinski.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. Jonathan, text me his name later so I find him. Because
It's
I'm
understandable. It's
literally,
kind of a harder name to like write out, so I'll send
yeah,
it to
because
you and
I'm always
everything.
at five. I'm always at 5,000, right, Jonathan?
Yeah, so you
I'm
should
deleting
definitely add
constantly.
Steve. Steve's always doing something. Always
Yeah.
somebody to watch out for. He made Natalie. He made a couple movies called the CarousHell, you know, series, and
Okay.
it's basically a killer unicorn carousel unicorn or whatever, like a you know, and it is awesome. Both movies are a lot of fun, and
Okay.
Thank you.
the second one involves like you know fucking Nazis. You know, I don't
And his
Oh.
adorable son. Never
and
leave
his
out
adorable
Robbie.
son. That's true.
And
Yes.
his adorable, your adorable son?
No,
No,
the
it's a Muppet. It's a half unicorn, half human offspring.
Oh,
And
okay. I'll check it out.
it's a
and I
lot
t-
of fun.
and I told the effects guy this needs to be the baby Yoda of unicorn children, and he delivered.
Oh, wow. Okay. Sounds cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
And they're both on Tubi, if I'm correct.
All of
Right.
my features are on Tubi right now. My only two works that are not on Tubi
So is
was
mine.
Slasher Hunter and The Survivors, but that's because like they were 30 minutes long each and I made them for the internet.
Right.
But aside from that,
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember I had so it was Basic Slaughter on there too.
Oh god, no. No, no, no,
Okay.
no, no,
So
no.
none of your like
Fuck
older
Basic
work.
Slaughter.
What?
No, my older work is I hate it and I think that they are embarrassing. But because of fan demand, all of my pre-Silver Spotlight films movies, so like 2010 and earlier, they are on Steve Buster, my digital subscription service, as exclusives.
What was your original production company name?
Dark Mullet Cinema.
Dark Mullet Cinema. That's right, because you had a dark mullet or
Yes, I
whatever.
did.
And
It was like the Mel Gibson Lethal Weapon mullet. It was like flowing and beautiful. It wasn't.
You're gonna be mad because one day, I don't know when, but one day we're gonna review on Short Film Saturday Wolfster. You know,
Okay.
so just get ready for that. You know,
I
that's
mean,
gonna happen.
those movies haven't aged well, but I'm not like embarrassed by the Wolfster movies. It's not like Basic Slaughter, which I was just. It shows all of my failures as a filmmaker when I was 20 years old, basically. So.
Well, you were just starting out, pretty much. I mean, you weren't like, you know, that was like your first feature, if I'm correct.
Yes, it was.
You know, so there you go. Everybody's not proud of their first feature generally, like when they're directing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're especially, you know, whatever, when they're so young, they're just kind of experimenting, you know.
I didn't feel good
Exactly.
about a feature until Super Task Force 1. That was my first feature. I was like, okay, I'm getting there. Here we
Right.
go. Yeah.
No,
I gotta
absolutely.
check out your work because I have no idea. So sorry, but I never heard of you. I'm sorry, Steve. And I'm sure you never heard of me, but now we're gonna hear of each other. So
Perfect. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. That's
yeah, because
exactly
I'm also a writer and a producer and a director too. So
yeah. She's got she's gonna be doing a movie called Jessica Lives, which
That I
that
wrote.
she wrote and she's gonna star in. And I'm really
And tell
excited
them who
about
else
that.
is in it. Tell them who else is in it.
Well, you tell.
You want me to tell? Okay, I got Dennis Haysbert and Ola Rapace, and I'm looking for other how do you say, other people that I'm talking to right now.
Mhm.
And do you know who Dennis Haysbert is?
I'm familiar with Dennis. Yeah.
Was he
Yeah,
he's the Allstate guy, right?
Yes, he
Yes.
is. But he's been in so many movies, and he was on Lucifer on from Netflix. He played God, and when I spoke to him, and I was like, wow, you're so nice, And Ola Rapace, he's such a sweet guy. He's from Sweden, but he's an action star. He was in James Bond, like literally. He did the fight scene in the beginning on the train with Daniel, from Skyfall.
Oh, nice. So
And I got him to play Michael. Finally, I got Michael. So yeah, Jessica Lives is a revenge thriller that I wrote. It's about four guys who want to like get with Jessica as she's walking in the park with her friend Matthew. And Matthew tries to defend her, and he ends up getting killed. And they shoot, stab, and rape Jessica, and they leave her for dead. But guess what? She's not.
So Jessica doesn't die?
No.
This title delivers.
There you
exactly.
go. There you go. Wait till you see what the script is. Phenomenal. I was like, whoa, wow. Like, right, Jonathan, when you read it?
I loved it. Yeah. I had a fun time.
There was twists and turns, wasn't there? Like, you didn't expect that ending.
And I can safely say that I'm, because it's in the IMDb already, that I'm going to be playing the bartender in it. So I'm excited.
Right. Yeah.
know.
And we are doing that in Turkey. So get ready.
There you go. I got to get my passport,
Well, it's not going to happen till 2024 because I got so much stuff going on in 2023, especially with the Bears and Psych Ruins. And I just send them all the pitch decks like 2 days ago because I did all the pitch decks.
Nice.
So yeah, so I send them like 4 pitch decks. So whichever movie that the investors want to do first, hey, it's up to them. They want to do Jessica Lives like in the spring. Everything is being filmed in Turkey, except the new one that I just got attached to, The Summoning.
Nice. Well, where will that be taking place?
That we're looking to film in Texas or Arizona.
Just going all over the place.
Yeah. The Summoning is a true story, and it's going to be the next Exorcist, better than The Exorcist.
Oh, that's a pretty bold statement right there. Better than The Exorcist, because that's.
I interviewed the family the last 2 days, and what they told me, I was like, whoa. So I am writing that, and I'm telling you, it's going to be huge.
Nice. Well, that's good. I'm excited to hear more about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to go back also with Steve, some of the stuff that you had done sort of after, you did the Captain Z,
Yeah, that was one I got hired to write and direct. That was a weird one. Because I don't, for your listeners at home, if you folks aren't familiar, if you only know me from the Cat movies or the CarousHell movie or, Amityville Christmas Vacation. So Captain Z was the first time I got hired by a financer to make his movie idea. But I immediately knew I was in for a ride because his movie idea was making a feature film about a character he played in jewelry store commercials for his father's jewelry store, who is a pirate. And I somehow had to turn that character into a feature film. And I had dinner the first night. I was just like, okay, Zoltan, first question. So is this going to be like an actor that dresses like a pirate, or are you envisioning like this is actually a pirate from the 1700s? Oh, it's an actual pirate from the 1700s. God damn it. Of course it is.
I was going to answer that. It's a real pirate, like a
yeah. So I had to sell him a bit because I was like, you can't afford a period piece. Full stop, Zoltan. You can't afford a period. So I had to sell him on a time travel story and basically did it like an Ash Army of Darkness, except the pirate got sent to present day. but that made him happy. But yeah, that was the first time I got hired by someone else to make their idea. And, to this day, I'm proud of it. It wasn't my idea. It wasn't like my baby, but it does feel like one of my movies.
So I've been watching a lot of pirate movies because of Indie Film Cafe and stuff. And one of the first ones we did in season 4, I think, was Jolly Roger, Massacre at Cutter's Cove, which is an asylum one where it's basically Freddy Krueger, but as a pirate, or whatever, saying all one-liners and, coming back from the dead, whatever. Then the other one I watched was Brett Kelly's Pirates Quest for Snake Island or whatever, which was kind of cute and fun, but that was more like a period piece and everything. So it sounds like you were able to make it work with the idea of taking and making it
he was very happy with it. It was surreal making that movie. Like people would walk up because like in the area we shot in, like the West Virginia, Ohio area where his jewelry store is, that character's a celebrity. People kept walking up and bothering Captain Z while we were shooting him, just like, what did I sign up for? We were eating at like the sandwich shop with the cast after one of the days of shooting, and his commercial came on the television. I'm just like, this is my micro budget Transformers experience. Like, I'm adapting a franchise that already exists.
Are there going to be any Captain Z's 2 or 3? Or
Zoltan says I had got an idea for Captain Z 2 every year since Captain Z 1 came out, so I'm guessing no.
Okay, so that's sad. That he has an idea, but it doesn't actually, nothing happens from it.
Well, it didn't make a lot of money. That's the downside, is that it's a hard sell. Like, one of the things that I asked him was like, do you want this to be like an R-rated horror film so we can target that audience, or do you want this to be like a family film? He's like, oh, like in between, which is like the worst answer he could have given me. So it's like, so how do I sell a PG-13 modern pirate film with no stars? It's already niche, and now it's ultra niche. So I told him this, and I warned him of this. Now, he still gets checks. It's not like it made $0, but it just didn't make enough to really justify continuing the project.
That's Sergeant Kabuki Man. That was sort of what happened with them, was they wanted to do Trauma, and the funding people wanted to make Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or whatever, and
I mean, at the same time though, Kabuki Man's my favorite Trauma film. I think Lloyd works best when someone's reeling him back.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, I agree. We're actually reviewing that. So I guess people will hear this. We're going to review that soon, and for Indie Film Cafe. So expect that in season 6.
And everyone's dropping spoilers this episode. I got to drop something from Shingles or something.
Feel free. Feel free to give me an exclusive. I like Natalie's.
Thank you.
That was fun. But yeah, and Natalie, I love that you're out there just continuing to work and get these things. Like you said, on Tubi, we've got I know you got Bloody Nun 2, and I think you got a couple other ones. I saw one on Tubi. I forgot what it was called that I didn't get a chance to watch, sadly, because
the Streets.
Which one?
The Streets.
I remember seeing that. Was that okay? Something. Okay. What's so funny is sometimes there's ones that pop up, but it said it was only going to be around for a day. I forgot which one it was that was only going to be there for like a day.
Usually my movies go on Tubi and Amazon. So, I mean, if you just go on Amazon, I don't know if you have Amazon Prime. I mean, now I'm sure you do now, but you could just type my name and all my movies come up. It's so weird.
Yeah. Are they
it's
all
surreal, isn't it? Like,
it's nice, right?
I said it. Isn't it like so surreal to type your name into like this major service that's owned by a major corporation? You're like, oh, I exist here.
Yeah, it's like this year alone is like so surreal. Like all the stuff that I am in and have done like for the past few years, and everybody knows who I am. And just like you just Google me, and there's like 7 pages of who I am, and I've done and in December is going to be my 100th interview.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow. Holy cow. Yeah.
My 100th interview.
Wait, like, are they like written interviews or like any interview that you did?
I've been doing magazines, cable, TV, radio, what else? Blogs. The next one is going to be Canada.
Oh, nice.
So I've done interviews from Italy, Spain, you name it, international magazines. I just did one recently, The Hollywood Reporter.
Awesome.
So,
Wait,
yeah.
Hollywood Reporter interviewed you?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So when that comes out, I'll be showing that to everybody.
I'm sure Steve will get interviewed for his Meowry movies, or whatever.
I'm waiting for that Disney check. Come on, guys. Just
yeah, well, so Steve, you did we talked briefly about your Meowry movies and everything like that, but I don't think Natalie heard anything about those. Can you
What's a Meowie movie?
Okay, I'll just get into the history. So it was right after I finished CarousHell 1 in 2016, we got picked up relatively quickly for distribution. But the distributor was very upfront and outright said, we got a bit of a backlog, so it's probably going to be a year or two before we can release your film. And, it's kind of hard.
Releasing?
Yes. And, it's kind of hard to, immediately make another, larger budget film when the first one isn't even out. There's no return at all. So I was kind of sitting on my ass for that year. My buddy and I did have a podcast. We were reviewing films, and we kept on reviewing a bunch of talking animal holiday movies, and I kept losing my mind because they were so milquetoast, but all clearly cost six figures. They all cost six figures because they're all in a mansion, and I see all the crew, and I see all the cast. I'm just they're just pissing away all this money and not even having any fun with it, except for the Three Doggeteers, John, which was a great film because
I bought that for somebody. I bought that for Lenore, who was one of our, special guests or whatever.
Hilarious film, honestly. Yeah. But by the end of it, I was broken by the series, specifically The Dog Who Saved Blank. It's Christmas, Halloween, Christmas Vacation, the holidays, Easter, you name it. And I just lost my mind. So on the podcast live, I was just like, fuck it! I have a cat! I'm going to make my own Home Alone ripoff. So I made a Meowie Christmas in 2017 out of spite. Purely out of spite and no other creative reason. And yet it blew up on streaming and people loved it. Kids loved it, adults loved it. It did really well. So I said, okay, I'm going to ride this wave. I always wanted to make a PG horror movie. I love Ernest Scared Stupid. I love Paranorman. I love Hocus Pocus. I love kids horror. Uh-huh. So I made a Meowie Halloween as my PG horror movie to kind of play it safe, because now I got a series that people already recognize, but I can do what I want to do. And that was an even bigger success. The best thing I ever did in my life as a director. I don't know why. That's what happens in life. The stuff you work hard on goes nowhere, and the dumb stuff you do blows up for some reason. But those were such big hits, and people really dug them and had fun with them, even though they were lower budget and basically just me and my cat for about half the movie. And I didn't want to fall into the pit of just making cat movies for the rest of my career, because I could have fallen into that pit. So then I did Meowie 3 and Meowie 4 and just ended the series as if it was this epic saga, but I actually had a continuous story throughout all four of them and ended it there, and the fans were happy. And I'm honestly so proud that I made those cat movies, because I don't know if you ever knew this, Jonathan, but if you if you search my name on Amazon, it brings up other talking animal movies. That's how associated my name is with the talking animal genre now. And to me, that's the biggest award as a filmmaker I could receive in my life.
Even a talking cat?
A talking cat comes up if you search for me. Yeah.
That's awesome. That
is awesome.
That's the movie cool. That Paul tortured for G. Larry Butler and his daughter when they did a show called Little Stinkers, which is just really crappy kids movies, Santa Claus meets the ice cream bunny,
Kids movies do well. I mean, that's why my Amityville is a PG movie. So, Super Task Force was my first foray into more PG family films. So when I did the cat movies, I knew, relatively speaking, it was kind of a safe financial decision, weirdly. But that's also why I didn't want to just do those forever. But I'm really, really glad that I made them. I'm glad that I made 4 talking cat movies, because what other horror director does that?
David Dakota.
Yeah, exactly.
It's you and David Dakota.
Oh, God.
Oh man. So there you go. We're kind of approaching the end of the end of the show. But Natalie, was there any other projects that you wanted to kind of talk about real quick? Let
Yeah,
people know about?
I'm doing Vile. You know what Vile is about? That's another true horror story about a family that got, moved into this haunted house. I can't talk too much about it. And I'm playing the female. She actually picked me to play her. Just
Nice.
like the
Wait, based on a true
summoning.
story?
It's based on a true story. We're filming the teaser in January in Philadelphia. And I'm
Awesome.
the executive producer and also the lead actress of it. And yeah, so it's gonna be cool. And then February I'm going to Florida. I'm not done. I'm gonna just keep going. And then February I'm going to film another movie. It's a religious one, my first one ever,
Oh, faith
playing
film.
a faith film. Yeah. I always wanted to do one, but I'm not just a horror queen, people. No, I'm not typecast, which is pretty cool. I'm doing that in February, and then in March, I'm going to Poland.
Nice. Well, there
Yeah,
you go, all over the place.
yeah, and then
Poland,
this
Turkey,
Poland,
Philadelphia.
yeah. And then I'm coming back, and then in April or May, I'm going to Turkey, and then in June, in July, I'm coming back shooting something else, and then in August, I'm going to Hungary
Sweet.
to
Well,
shoot.
that's
So you
busy,
have to,
busy.
you gotta let me know when we're gonna shoot your stuff because I gotta work around that schedule.
Yeah. When we get, that's the thing is I can't like say anything or I can't do anything
Yeah,
until
I know, I know, I
until
know.
money
And
happens, and Steve knows that.
and also the script too. I still haven't seen it, but I'm
Oh
still,
yeah, that needs to get finished too. So there's just a
still,
lot
still.
going on right now.
You know how many scripts I wrote in a month?
Yeah, I wish I had time to do 20 scripts in 1 month. Sadly, just doesn't happen with just life. A lot of stuff going
Yeah,
on.
I know, I know, I know. And but Vile is gonna be really good because that's a true story. And the summoning, when I interviewed the two brothers over the weekend, Jonathan, my hairs were standing up. The stuff that they were telling me, it's like I was there with them. And that I
Crazy.
literally had to go outside and do the sign of the cross and pray to God and all that stuff. And yeah, so once I start writing that, I'm actually gonna start writing that this weekend.
Awesome.
It's gonna be huge. Yeah, and so is Jessica Lives and Psych Ruins, and what else am I doing? The Last Stop. The Last Stop. That's it. The Last Stop. That's also gonna be filmed in Turkey. Ola Repace is in he's actually in a lot of my stuff, playing my husband, the detective. He signed with Natalie Peri multiple projects. So I was like, oh wow, this is so cool. And
Nice.
yeah, so the Last Stop is about a couple that checks into a motel somewhere in Arizona. It happens to be a ghost town, and the people that own the motel are like, how do you say, demonic. They're with the demonic cult.
Okay,
And
cool.
yeah, I wrote that. And the
Nice.
owner, I mean, you already know my writing, so.
Yeah.
And everybody goes, how do you come up with this stuff? I says, I don't know. I said, I'll be just sitting on the couch, just boom, I'll just get a thought and I'll just start writing, and that's it. Like I was talking on the phone with somebody, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I said, you know what? I started writing something about I can't sleep, about dreams. And so I sent it to one of the directors. He goes, oh wow, this is great. He says we're doing an anthology of short stories and I want to put this in there. I said, go for it. Yeah, so
Awesome. Well, that sounds like a lot that's going on. That's awesome. How about you, Steve? What do you got going on?
I'll just take the moment to again promote Amityville Christmas Vacations out now. It's on Tubi. But also, Shingles the movie is coming soon. This is based on a book series that has like 50 entries. The book series is a parody of the Goosebumps series and just 90s book horror in general.
Oh, I love the Goosebumps.
Yeah, so this is gross R-rated Goosebumps.
Oh,
But that's their inspiration. And they
nice.
hired me to turn 5 of their books into an anthology film, which we shot in May. We're editing now. Should be out early 2023. But keep an eye out. We got the trailers up. I keep posting news on my Facebook page, my Instagram at Dark Mullet. Sending the news out to all the websites that hopefully cover it from time to time. But it's really fun. It's about to tell you about the film, Jonathan. It's about a group of friends that are waiting for their scoutmaster to pick them back up from the parking lot that he just left them at, around a fire. A little bit of Are You Afraid of the Dark inspiration there, and they just each tell a story that they all allege really happened to them, and each one's a horror story. So we
Nice.
got different books. It's 4.5 different stories basically, but it's a lot of fun, a lot of characters, a lot of effects, a lot of practicals. It's the first time I've done anything with zombies. Which is
Nice.
a Pittsburgh boy. Everyone kept on yelling at me to make a zombie thing, and I finally did it because someone paid me to. Um,
Yeah, somebody wants me to do a zombie movie, and I'm like, yeah, I just got the script like last week, and I
Okay.
haven't even. I'm like, okay, let me read this when I get a chance. Listen, before we go, can I just say a shout out to the people that I promised I say a shout out to?
Sure.
Okay, is that okay?
No, it's fine.
Yeah, I just want to thank Davichi Young from Bears who actually believe in me for letting me audition and giving me this role. You are the best. Daryl, thank you. My director, Will, you always be with me. Tony, thank you for being my friend. Jonathan, thank you. Everybody that Charles, my manager, thank you. Everybody that follows me, thank you. And everybody, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks.
You called me last minute to come on the show, and I was like, okay.
I totally,
Next time I get-
totally
yeah.
love that.
Yeah, I had fun. I got to meet you, Steve, and hopefully we'll connect one day, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are you heading out, Nelly? It sounds like
No,
you're.
you just said that the show was ending.
Oh no. Okay. But Steve, to go back to your shingles. So so they tell the stories, and then we get to see them. Is that like just like Are You Afraid of the Dark and kind of stuff? And then
Yeah, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Dark Side, Creep Show type of deal. We had a lot of fun. Every story is lit differently. Every story is shot a little bit differently. Even though I'm directing all of them and Scott Lewis is the cinematographer on all of them, we still try to give each story its own little unique flavor. Because we wanted to make the guys that wrote these books, Authors and Dragons is their name. Look them up. We wanted to make them happy. This was the first time I was making something with a worldwide fan base. Like, I was posting the casting list of like the four leads, and immediately I saw like 50 comments of like, this is exactly how I pictured Jimmy Headshot. This is perfect. And I was like, oh no, there's expectations now. Oh no. But I was a special guest along with a few of the cast and crew at the Authors and Dragons convention. They're big enough they have their own convention every year, and we showed like the first 8 minutes of the movie, and it killed. You would have thought I was Henry Cavill coming out to say I was Superman again with how these people were reacting. So I feel good about the movie, and like the first 8 minutes are the worst part of the movie. I'm not saying they're bad, but like everything past that is better. So if they like that, mission accomplished, baby.
exactly.
So that's coming soon. Keep an eye out. If you want to follow news and stuff, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. I am still on Twitter for now, Silver Spotlight Films. Look that up.
Oh, for now.
My website, for all of my physical media, silverspotlightfilms.com. If you don't do physical, I do have my own digital subscription, stevebuster.com, where for $2.99 a month you get all of my movies, which is about 17 hours of content, or for $4.99 you get all the content, which means all the bonus features, all the old stuff that I don't sell anymore, all the exclusives, all the sneak peeks, and that's like 40 hours of content. So take a look at Steve Buster if you want. You get permanent links, you can keep them forever. Just don't share them. That's all I ask. But, economy's bad. I get it. So if you can't spend anything right now, third best way to support me, look me up on Tubi. Like I said earlier in the episode, all my films are on Tubi.
Yeah,
Check them out.
I'm gonna check out your Christmas thing you were just talking about on Tubi.
I hope it makes you laugh. I really do. It's all I made it for.
It's just like I wrote a review of it today, and I just said it was adorable. Like that's it. It was adorable little short, movie and stuff. It's sad because I guarantee you there are people that look at that and still like go, oh my God, this is just whatever. And I'm like, it's just a short movie with a dude who goes on vacation to, and ends up dating a ghost. That's literally,
Aw, it's cool.
Yeah.
The first review Amityville Christmas Vacation got was from Mac Brewer at Horror Society, and he said he put it in my favorite way. Like it's something that I thought about for years, but he just put it perfectly. He's just like, this movie is a really fun, cute, genuinely hilarious movie that a bunch of horror fans are going to hate because it doesn't have any effects and it's not scary, and they're going to miss the point that it's just supposed to be fun. And I'm just like, yep, you're right. Because guess what? You go on Letterboxd, 1 star, not scary, half star. This isn't. There's only one ghost in this. I'm like, you guys.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more clear I can make it. I put a whole tree in a suitcase in the opening scene. I don't know how to establish its comedy any better than that.
I don't know. I just bought Amityville vibrator, so I don't know.
Love Amityville vibrators. Shout out Nathan Rumler.
Yes, he was awesome. Met him at Scarefest. He was really cool. I liked him. I was gonna get an interview with them, and then it got too late, so we just didn't. We're only there for one day, so we weren't able to do that. But next time I run into him.
Next time, get 2 more Amityville people, including him.
We did eat at the same restaurant too, and his buddy was like, "Hey, he's over here if you want to get an interview."
Nice.
I was like, I don't think this is the appropriate time. Well, everybody's eating their fucking pizzas and shit.
Yeah.
But all right. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Jonathan. Nice to meet you, Steve. Jonathan, send me his name so I can spell it the right way.
Yeah. All right, I definitely will.
And Steve, confirm my request, okay?
I will.
Okay, thank you.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Okay, you too. All right.
Okay, bye. Bye.
Bye. And thank you, Steve, definitely once again, and everybody for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll be back. I think in next what is it? I think next month. So in December there'll be one last episode for the year. So till then, everybody, have a good one. Bye.